Alright, boys and girls, today's lesson is lesson 6-2, and it's fractions that add to 1. And what I mean by 1 is the whole. So we're going to get right to the pages here, and I want you to turn to page 199, and it's called Fifths That Add to 1. I'm going to quickly read through it here. Every afternoon, student volunteers help the school librarian put returned books back on the shelves. The librarian puts the books in equal piles on a shelf. One day, Jean and Maria found 5 equal piles on the return cart. They knew there were different ways they could share the job of reshelving. They drew fraction bars to help them find all the possibilities. So question 1 says, on each fifths bar, circle 2 groups of fifths to show a way Jean and Maria could share the work. Each bar could show a different possibility. Then complete the equation next to each bar to show their shares. Alright, so it's pretty simple here. You're just going to find different ways to get to 5 out of 5. That's the whole. Okay, and so they're going to share it. They're going to share it, but it's not going to be equally shared. That's the one thing. I don't want you to think that they're each going to get the same exact amount of books. They're going to share it, but together they're going to get to the whole. So one way you could do it, you could do 1/5 for Jean, and then 4/5 for Maria, and that gives you a total of 5/5. You could do 2/5 for Jean, and you could do 3/5 for Maria. That'll get you 5/5. You could do 3/5 for Jean, 3/5, and 2/5 for Maria, and then finally you could do 4/5 for Jean and 1/5 for Maria. Those are a few different options of how you could do it, but notice no matter what, equally together they total 5/5. They total all of them, all the books. That's the whole. The whole is all the books. Okay, the whole isn't just one book. In this case, the whole means all of the books. Okay. So, I know since we've started yesterday, today, it seems like, I know in your head you're like, oh my gosh, fractions are easy. And they are if you're able to slowly start to understand them. They will get harder. There'll be times where the denominator is different from each other. And you have to find a way to make them the same. And they're not doing that yet, but that time will come. And you'll understand that, and you'll be able to figure that out just the way you are figuring these out. Alright, so let's turn to the next page. And this is making a whole with 6. Okay, so the librarian put 6 equal piles of returned books on a cart for Lou and Henry to reshelve. They also drew fraction bars. On each 6th bar, circle 2 groups of 6 to show the way Lou and Henry could share the work. Each bar should show a different possibility. Okay, same thing here, but I want you to do these 5 on your own, and then unpause it, and I'll show you some of the ways I've done them. Alright, so hopefully you did, let's see, 1 for Lou, and then 2 for Lou, and then 3 for Lou, and then 4 for Lou, and then 5 for Lou. Okay, and then what it did, inversely, is it made it 4 for Henry. I'm sorry, 5 for Henry. Oof, I almost made that wrong. 5 for Henry, 4 for Henry here, 3 for Henry, 2 for Henry, and 1 for Henry. Okay, either way, they equal 6 out of 6. That means all the books have been put away. All of them, because together they shared to get the right amount. Okay, next part. Write the fraction that will complete each equation. Okay, we're looking for a whole which equals 7 out of 7. So 1 equals 7 out of 7, which equals 1/7 plus whatever you need to get to 7/7. Well, if you have 1/7, you still need 6/7 more. And now these two together equal 7/7, which equals 7/7, which equals 1. Number 4, 1 equals 4/4, which equals 3/4 plus whatever else you need to get to 4. Well, let's ignore the 4 on the bottom, really, because it's not going to change. We're at 3. We're trying to get to 4. How many more do we need? We need 1, so we need 1/4 more. Next one, 1 equals 8 over 8, or 8/8 equals 3/8 plus, sorry, get that out of the way for you, plus what? Well, we know the denominator is going to be 8. If we have 3 here and we're trying to get to 8, we need how many more? 5 more. Okay, I want you to work on 6 through 10 on your own. Pause it, work on it, and then unpause it. We'll go over them together. Alright, number 6. 1 equals 5/5 equals 2/5 plus something. Well, it equals 2/5 plus another fifth, or some more fifths. So 2, to get to 5, you need to go 3 more. So now 3/5 plus 2/5 equals 5/5 equals 1. Next one, 1 equals 3/3 plus 2, or equals 2/3 plus another third. That'll give us 3/3. Here, 1 equals 10/10, which equals 6/10 plus 4/10. Last one, or last two, 1 equals 6/6 equals 2/6 plus 4/6. 1 equals 8/8, which equals 5/8 plus 3/8. Really not hard, boys and girls. It's easy math. Just don't change that denominator unless you have to. Meaning, if it ever comes down to adding or subtraction or multiplying or dividing fractions, that denominators are not the same. All right, turn to the next page. It says discuss and compare unit fractions. Use these fraction bars to help you compare the unit fractions, right, greater than or less than. All right, they want you to compare them. So you can find out which is greater than or less than. Knowing what greater than or less than is, see where they end. This bar here, it goes from here to here. This one goes from here, the half goes to there, thirds are here, fourths are here, thirds are here, fifths, looks like sevenths, eighths, ninths, tenths, 11ths, and 12ths. Notice the further apart 1 and the denominator get from each other, the smaller the pieces. The first one is 1 over 1. Look how close the numbers are together, 1 and 1. That equals a whole. That means that's the biggest you can get. Next one, 1 over 2. That piece is telling you 1 and 2 are pretty close together. And if you go on and on, you get 1 over 3, then 1 over 4, then 1 over 5. You're getting further apart from each other. That means the piece is smaller. Think of a piece of pizza. Okay, if your pizza is broken into 2 pieces and you get 1 of them, it's a big piece. If your pizza is broken into 12 pieces and you get 1 of them, it's a small piece. So understand that when your numerator and denominator are further apart from each other, the piece you're talking about, or the unit fraction you're talking about, is going to be smaller. So we're writing then a greater than or less than in these boxes. The first one asks, is 1/6 greater than or less than to 1/8? Well, here's 1/6 right here to here. Is it greater than or less than 1/8? Well, look, this is bigger than this, so 1/6 is greater than 1/8. Next one, 1/5. 1/5 is right here, and 1/3 is right there. 1/3 is much bigger than 1/5. Next one is 1/10, which is right here, and 1/12, which is right here. It's a close one, but you know 1/10 just by looking at the chunks or the unit fractions. 1/10 is bigger or greater than 1/12. Next one, 1/7 and 1/4. Trying to change the colors up on everything. 1/7. Okay. 1/7 is there. 1/4 is here. Well, that tells you just by looking at it, 1/4 is bigger. Okay. Next ones are 1/9, and we're going to do 1/12 again, which 1/9 is greater than 1/9 and 1/11. You should know between 1/9 and 1/11, 1/9 is greater than. There's a trick to this. Okay. When the numerator stays the same on all these, which it did, all the numerators are 1 on all these. Okay. When the numerator stays the same, but the denominator changes, The greater the denominator, the smaller the piece. Okay? Notice that on all of these. Here's 6 is smaller than 8, but it's bigger when it comes to the size. 3 is smaller than 5, but it's bigger when it comes to a fraction. Because that means that the pizza or the whatever it is broken into less pieces. So one of those pieces of that bar or that pie or whatever is bigger than it would be if you broke it into more pieces. Hopefully you understand that. Okay, so when comparing two unit fractions, the fraction with a smaller denominator is bigger. That's what we found from this. From all these that we just did, we found out that it is bigger based on, or greater. When we started to say greater, we can say it's a better fourth grade word than bigger, but greater. All right, so the next page, okay, it says, write the unit fractions order from least to greatest. Okay, remember what we said. All these numerators are the same. So this should be easy. The bigger the number, the smaller the piece it is. The smaller the unit fraction. I'll do the first one. It says least to greatest. So 1/8 is the smallest, 1/6 is the next smallest, and 1/5 is the greatest of the three of them. I'll do 19. 1/11 will be the smallest, 1/8 is the second smallest, and 1/4 is the greatest of them all. Okay, I want you to work on 20 and 21 on your own. And then I want you to read through 22, 23, and try to see what's going on with Puzzled Penguin.